Hey guys, welcome to the 2 a.m. Pipe on the Patio Sunset Edition. The sun is setting behind the mountains out there, and it is, if you can see off over there, it is getting really nice out there. So I brought out this is the newest lantern I picked up here. It's a 1948 Dietz D-Light, number 2 D-Light. It's in the gray color. They only made that for 4 years, I believe, from 46 to 49. And man, I scored a deal on that one. And see if I can get that up here again where we can see it. There we go. And somebody was selling 2 of those. This one is almost in perfect condition. Almost. It needs nothing done to it. Some of the paint is just slightly coming off in some of the areas, but it's perfect. And I got another one over there that's seen much better days. But it's got the original glass, and it's missing the little screw cap for the reservoir, which I can replace. But I think it's got some rust issues, so I'm not sure it will ever be usable. But it's also gray, and so it can be a parts piece. Just the glass, I got them each for 15 bucks each, which is ridiculous price. So I figured this one I got for 30 bucks basically. But the glass alone, I couldn't buy the glass for 30 bucks. So I got that glass for free, basically. And it's a cool little lantern. I've been looking for a USA made Dietz. This is the oldest lantern I have. Most of my lanterns are newer ones. And I've been looking for an old USA Dietz. All my Dietz are new Dietz. That I get from Kirkman Lanterns. And this is an original USA Dietz. And it's got the date. The dates are, you can find the date they're made. They're stamped into the tube here on the lantern here. So if you ever get an old lantern, you want to find the date. Their dates are stamped in right there. And it'll tell you the month and the year that they're made. So I was stoked when I got that. So he wanted 15 bucks for each one. I didn't even try and dicker with them. I was like, yeah, okay, fine, I'll take them both. And that one, the other one over there, it had a colony of bees had got into it, and it was, you know, it had been stored outside for probably decades as an ornament, and the whole glass was filled with bees, dead bees. So when I got home, I just emptied those out and just started going through it just to see what the damage was on it. This one, all I did was put a new wick in it and filled it up. It was ready to go. And this is my first real burn on it. Figured I'd come out here and just have a smoke and use the lantern out here. But I love these lanterns. I love, you know, the oil lanterns like this, the hurricane lanterns. And then I love the oil lamps. You know, the glass lamps that have the glass bottoms and then the long glass tops on them. I have a bunch of those too. I have a bunch of old ones of those. And it's funny because my wife doesn't like them, but she's the one who found these for me. She goes, "Hey, guys, got 2 of these for $30. You want them?" And I looked at them like, "Yes, tell them I want them. I'm coming right out to get them." And those, when I saw they were Dietz Delights and USA, you know, said USA on them, I was like, absolutely, I want them right now. Tell them I'm coming to get them. Don't sell them to anybody else. I want them. So Sadie drove me over to get them. Handed them the money. I didn't even try, and for that price I wasn't even gonna, you know, it was such a ridiculously good price. I wasn't gonna even argue with the guy over price. And because that was, these are going for like $100 a piece on the market, you know. And he was like, "Thank you for getting these out of here. My mom thanks you for taking them. If you got any more, let me know." And because my mom is so thankful to get rid of these. And he's like, "One of them has a bunch of dead bees in it." I'm like, "No problem, I'll take care of that." Anyway, smoking my Savinelli Roma 320 with some, you probably will be able to see that. I guess you can. Innerdale Flake. And it is absolutely gorgeous out here. Just stunningly gorgeous out here. Gonna turn this a little bit so I get a brighter flame here on me. And maybe that didn't work so well. I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's just getting. Starting to get dark out here, so oops, let me. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Keep hitting the sky out there so it brightens up here. So, what's the nice thing about these cameras? You can. Even when it's dark out, if you hit the sky, it'll brighten it up out here for you until it gets too dark. But you go. So it has just been a beautiful day here. I'm gonna be getting back to doing night videos out here. I'll be doing them from the table over there though. I think most of them. Just because I don't want any bears sneaking up on me over the fence here. When it gets dark out here, and it's getting dark right now. It doesn't look dark out here on the, because the camera, when I hit auto exposure, it brightens everything up, but it's getting dark out here, and but it gets dark out here at night in this area, in our backyard here, because there's no lights out here at all. And all the light is coming from just the sunset in the sky. You get the light from the sky, and you get some lights from down there, like right now sound, it looks like they got the lights at the baseball stadium down there are lit, and then this light here, and you know, you just get the lights from the city down below, which is a beautiful sight at night. Not the city, but the town of Salem. So I'm looking forward to when the Fireflies come out. Later, a couple months from now, we should be getting a lot of Fireflies. June, July. And that's one of my favorite things. When we lived in California, I'd never seen a firefly in my life, and we drove across country one time, and we got to St. Louis, and my nephew lives in St. Louis, and he we stopped there and went out to dinner, and after dinner we came out, and he pointed out the fireflies, you know, in the trees and stuff, and that was the first time I saw fireflies. And then as we went on our trip, we went to Nashville, and they were all over the place in Nashville, and the kids got to see them. The kids didn't see them in St. Louis. They stayed in the hotel when we went out to dinner. They didn't want to go eat. They wanted to stay and watch TV. So they when we got to Nashville, we went to dinner at the Loveland Cafe, I think it was. And when we got out of there, they were all over out there, and And that was so neat to see the kids seeing their. I mean, it was a neat thing for me to see them, but it was really neat for the kids to see the fireflies. And they were teenagers at the time, so it wasn't like they were little kids. They were teenagers, but they were just fascinated, as you know, as much as I was, being a 50-some-year-old man, and I was just fascinated to see them. When we got here, and I had these big ball jars for my tobacco, and McKinley took one of those, and she was out catching fireflies using my tobacco jars, which was fine, and I loved it. And so she was out catching fireflies so she could bring them in and show her friends back in California, do videos for her friends so they could see fireflies, which was just the coolest thing to me, that she was that thrilled about it and wanted to share that with her friends in California. And then she'd take them outside and let them go, and once she got to show them, and so the first week, every night, McKinley especially was outside with me. I was out sitting out there on that patio out in the place we rented when we first got here. I was outside every night watching fireflies. She'd come out with me, and we'd sit on that patio just watching fireflies, all across the street, see them across the street in the trees, and it was just an amazing thing seeing the fireflies. And then when we moved here, they are all over the place in this yard, because this yard's never had any kind of pesticides or anything in it, and they just go crazy here. And you look out our front yard at night and there's just fireflies everywhere, and in the backyard here too. It's just amazing to sit out here and see all the fireflies. It's just it is a treat for us to see it, because they are everywhere. And being a boy who grew up in California his whole life, and then to get to come here and experience this, this country living type stuff, and man, it's heaven. It's heaven to me. This is and then I got to experience the cicadas, which first time I heard cicadas was in South Carolina, when I was going across. I think it was 28 states in 6 weeks, and that was a huge tour, and we were just boom, 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 just. And we spent a week in South Carolina and just went out from there to different places. We rented a house in South Carolina, in Greenville, South Carolina. Did an Airbnb, and we just went out from there to places. And because it was kind of central instead of just traveling. We kind of made that a hub, and so we'd go to a place, and then we'd come back there and spend the night there, and then get up and go to the next place we were going to go. You know, that travel to that place and then come back that night and sleep there. And so at night we'd get home. I'd get home, take a shower, and go out and sit on this beautiful deck at this house. And I had my pipes, and I'd sit out on the back porch at night, and the cicadas were just going nuts. I mean, they were going nuts. And that was one of the top 3 places that I ever smoked a pipe, was on that patio in Greenville, South Carolina, listening to those cicadas. And at 2 o'clock in the morning, smoking my pipe. It was just the most relaxing thing ever for me. And I think I did a video of the top 3 places I've ever smoked a pipe, and I mentioned that was one of the top 3 places, was on that patio in Greenville, South Carolina. It was 8 weeks. It was 8 weeks, 28 states in 8 weeks. And I did 8,000 miles. We drove 8,000 miles in those. It was 28 states we drove through. And I remember going into Pickens, South Carolina. And I went into a little. Pickens is this tiny, tiny little town in South Carolina. And I went in there, and they had a couple of pipes, and I bought those 2 pipes. And we had a day off, and I went into Pickens, and I mean, Pickens was a town of, it looked like it had, 10 stores in it. It looked like Mayberry. And we had a town square, and there was this little tiny little like antique store type thing, and I went in there, and they had these 2 pipes, and so I bought them, and I went back to the house we were staying in, and I had brought some tobacco with me, and so they were nothing special pipes. They were, just basket type pipes, but I wanted to get some pipes from this trip, you know. And so I cleaned them up, sanitized them, cleaned them up real good, and went out and smoked it on that back patio. And that was just one of the best smokes I've ever had in my life. Just listening to the cicadas. You know, getting home at 2 o'clock in the morning, taking a shower, and then going out and sitting on that back porch and lighting up that pipe and listening to the cicadas. It was just That's a pretty view right there behind me, isn't it? I might have to do more of these like this. This is pretty cool. Well, this one has gone on far too long, but boy, that view right there is worth it. If you made it to the end here, if you made it all the way to the end, let me know what you think of that right there. Let me know what you think of that view with the lantern and that sky in the background and the view with the lights. I need to do more of these. It's 8. It's only 8:40. But that's pretty cool. The backyard here is just pitch black. Outside here I can't see anything in the backyard here. I should bring out my mag light with me. But man, this is cool. This is cool. I'll have to turn the lights on in the house so I get some light back here. Surprised there's no deer in the backyard here with me yet. They're probably all laying out in the front yard. Well guys, if you made it this far, thanks for sticking around. This has been this turned out to be really a cool video here. Visually, I'm pretty happy with the way this turned out. So I'll do more of these nighttime videos like this, that's for sure. So I'll catch y'all later. Have a good one. God bless. And thanks for watching my channel. I hope this one brought you some peace, some relaxation, and God bless y'all. Take care.